The championships.
The academic excellence.
This way is the Roadrunner way.
The achievements are endless.
But that's not the only reason why we're here.
Our calling is higher than just wins and losses.
Degrees and awards.
No, there's more to it than that.
Our road to excellence
Is found when we
Compete passionately.
Accept responsibility.
Lead courageously.
And live unselfishly.
These principles will produce results in all the roles that we experience.
this way.
Is the Roadrunner way.
And that spirit lives in all of us.
Whether you're on campus,
Or part of the larger Dalton community.
excellence is not achieved alone.
We're all in this together.
This way.
Is the Roadrunner way.
Come with us.
This way.
This way.
This way.
This way.
This way.
This way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Episode 7 of The Beat. I'm Eric Simpson, Sports Information Director for Dalton State College. This week, we have women's cross country and track coach, Dean Thompson, with us. Dean, thanks for joining us.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure.
Awesome.
Love to share about our girls.
Oh, definitely. And it's time to get y'all some pub on here. We've, in our countdown of hitting coaches, it's time. We've got a great team this season, and I'm sure everybody else, as well as I am too, are interested to hear about them. So we're going to jump right in here. We're going to talk about last season a little bit. So, Dean, you had a very impressive season last year that ended in a Southern States Athletic Conference championship. What was that season like?
It was a good season. We went a long way from beginning of the year to the end of the year. The ladies showed a lot of improvement, and that's due to a team that just has a really good work ethic, a team that's really focused on the end goal and not worried about everything that happens in between. They trust the process, and of course that means a lot to have a group that's coachable. And last year we had that group. We had hoped going into last year that we could get where we got to, but it was still, at conference meet, I kept, we had beaten our rivals a couple of times going into conference, and I told them, "Now, ladies, don't think they're going to just give this to us."
Right.
And it took a tough fight at that meet to win. I was really, really proud of everything they accomplished last year along the way, and then in the heat of the battle that day at the conference meet.
Well, I know any time that you had faced, and for anybody who doesn't know that, some of the top cross country teams in our conference, you got Blue Mountain, Mississippi, William Carey out of Mississippi as well, and Bethel, who subsequently moved to the Mid-South Conference this year. They had one or two runners, especially one runner that really emerged as, a conference contender individually for that title. So you had three, and Bethel made a fourth team that really kind of came on there and made it a really competitive tournament, one that was more competitive than we've seen in the last couple of years in the SSAC.
Yeah, one of the things that I was most proud of was just looking back over the last since Dalton State had been in the conference. Last year was the toughest year to win conference because it was way more competitive. Just to give you an example, our number 6 girl this past season finished faster than our number 5 did last year and finished 10 places further back. So, yeah, it was it was really stacked last year. It was a much, much tougher season. So to come out on top at a season when everybody was at their best, I was so proud of those ladies and how hard they worked for that.
And you had a nice blend of youth and experience to where you brought some of that back too. So, I mean, that's going to be, a thing. So, among other awards that we had, we got to get a shout out to Catherine Vradenberg because she won SSAC Freshman of the Year. But you yourself, Coach, also got Coach of the Year honors. Congratulations for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So what did it mean to you to receive that award?
Well, the award is really it's about what the team accomplishes. Typically the team that wins the conference championship is, the coach is awarded the coach of the year. I mean, I don't know that it always goes that way, but it typically does. And last year, I mean, I didn't earn it as much as the girls did. They ran hard, they did well. And as I said on that day, I just heard a story yesterday to give you the idea of the emotion of that day. One of the girls on the team, I was standing about a quarter of a mile from the finish line when they were, funneling by toward the end of the race. And I really thought we had just barely lost as they were coming by. We had a few that I was just pleading with them as they went by. You've got to catch that runner up there. And so they worked their tails off to catch it. We had one that caught somebody that was the difference in the race. But one of the girls that I had said that to, she could hear the emotion in my voice as she passed me, and she crossed the finish line. And she said, as soon as she crossed the finish line, she just broke down and started crying because she felt like she didn't do what I needed her to do. And then I walked up to her just seconds later and put my arm around her, and I told her, I said, we won. And she all of a sudden the tears turned into happy tears. So that was kind of the emotion of that day. So again, the emotion of those athletes like that is what won that award, not necessarily, me doing all the right things, but their passion.
Well, I mean, and you see moments like that, and it makes you, feel great. It makes you know why we're all here. You from a coach standpoint, me from an administrator standpoint, we love our athletes, and whenever we see something like that where they gave it their all to the point where they're broke down into tears, first for almost like ABC's Wild World of Sports, the agony of defeat, and then she realizes that we've won it, and then those tears turn to tears of joy, and you can't help but just almost kind of melt yourself in a sense, because that's why you brought them here and you're so happy for them.
Yeah, it's really something special for me. I'm a Christian, and I kind of wear my faith on my sleeve, and we're called to be that for people. We're called to encourage others, and when you see that all the encouragement that you've done throughout a season and through all of that hard work in those days where it was really, really hard for some of those, that particular girl I was talking about had to work her way through an injury all year long. And to see that in the end and realize that maybe some of the words that you said had an impact, that living out your faith is important to me, and that connection is made in that moment is a really special moment for me.
It is. I mean, that's, it's like you said, that Coach of the Year honor is really, one of those that, the team wins it for you because sometimes how the conference gives it out in a way, but that right there, kind of fulfills, your fact of, why you are the Coach of the Year, in a sense, that, you were able to do that and push them to that point. They break down, and then you're there to tell them, and then, they're overwhelmed with joy.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's really special.
It is.
Yeah.
So, with that, you've got a good nucleus coming back, but you've also recruited well. So let's talk about that a little bit, from what you expect and from this upcoming year's team, and maybe some new pieces that you've added to the puzzle and what we have coming back as well.
Well, I'm really excited about our team this year because, yes, we should be improved over last year. Catherine's coming back. Catherine, of course, being our number one runner, she's still just a sophomore. She's going to be here for a while longer. Special talent, special girl. I can't say enough about Catherine and her work ethic. It's not just about how fast she runs when she gets into a race, but she works so hard and provides such a great example to everybody behind her. She's a great leader. And she also is a very positive person, so she adds that to the team as well, and it bleeds over into others. And this year, our number 2 girl from last year, Alex, will be back. She's in better shape than she was last year, and last year she made it. I've never seen anybody make the improvement that she did from one year to the next. Last year she improved 2 minutes from her freshman year, and she just became somebody that was just a beast on the course. And she's back and she's ready for more, and I think she's going to have a really, really good year this year. Kay is back again this year. Catherine's older sister, Kay, will be a senior this year. We will have a senior this year, and Kay is a fantastic, hardworking, no nonsense, get it done, gritty performer. And when last year when it came time that somebody needed to catch somebody in that last quarter of a mile, Kay was the one that did it. And she would have died trying, just because that's who she is.
Right.
We've got Rachel Ward coming back. Rachel is the same year as Alex. They'll both be juniors this year. And Rachel has, although she didn't show a tremendous amount of improvement last year, and she's starting off in a rough spot this year, but I just know Rachel, and she's going to fight to the end of the year. And by the end of the year, she'll be right back where she's been, and she's gonna ultimately have a good year. Rachel's been through some stuff personally that a lot of people would have quit by now, and she's hung in there and can continue to work. So, and then we've got Kate, who was a freshman last year. And was our number 6 runner last year, and I think she's going to contribute in the top 5 immediately this year. She's certainly improved. She improved a lot she improved a lot during the season last year. I think 3 minutes from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and then from then to track season we saw more improvement, and then all this stuff happened. But she hasn't slowed down, and she's going to be in great shape at the beginning of the year this year. So. Really, man, I can't wait to see what she does this year. But then we're adding a few pieces too. Now, we did lose Maury, and she was a freshman last year. She was our number 7 runner, and we hated to see her go, but she's such a joyful girl. But she's going to be around. She's just not going to be able to run this year for personal reasons. And then AK is gone. AK had been around for 4 years. And AK we will miss AK and her senior leadership that she gave us last year. But we're glad to replace those with Riley Ford. She's from Marlette, Michigan. The girl doesn't know how to run easy. I mean, she just, when she's running, you don't want to get in front of her because you're afraid that she'd never even recognize you were there, and she'd just run you over. She's just that tough. She's got a tough mentality. She's got a tough spirit about her. She's a fantastic student as well. There's just no negative. She's positive. She's a lot like Catherine in that respect, in that she brings this positive, energetic vibe with her. She's going to be a special talent for us this year, and I expect her to probably fit in between Catherine and Alex this year. If not running up there with Catherine, or Alex kind of running up her heels. So she's going to be a big addition for us. And then we're adding a transfer this year. This is my first transfer, the first time that I've had a transfer. And Haley Haley Tillery is a transfer from North Georgia College. And she had a good year last year. She was a good runner in high school. She is coming off an injury, so she's going to start the year off a little bit slow. We don't know whether, we don't even know whether she'll be able to run in the meets this year, but if she does, she'll be a contributor by the end of the year for sure.
Right.
And we expect her to if not impact the team this fall, she will certainly impact the team in the future as a great runner. So she is a sophomore. And then we have another freshman, Kayla, who is she kind of comes in a little bit where Maury was last year. So she's going to come in and she'll add some depth to our team. But I've seen some things out of her lately that I think she's going to be better than people think she's going to be. So I'm really, really proud to have Kayla there. And then we also brought back one that had run with us her freshman year. She took a year off. Then she ran track, and she's come back this year, and that's Rebecca Poe. And Rebecca Poe is so much fun to have around. She is a laugh a minute. So she brings a little levity to the group. Her and Kayla will probably battle a little bit.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to watch those two. But I'm looking forward to see. Rebecca has worked extremely hard since January. So I'm looking forward to see what she does.
I know. I'm looking forward to it too. And just to touch on a couple of points you were mentioning about your young ladies there. Kate Roberts. You said she improved. 3 minutes from the first. Well, for anybody who doesn't know this, from looking at the stat sheets that we have online, is every single race that she ran faster than the previous race. She was never slower in a race from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, from 1 to race 7 on the year. Every time was faster than the previous time. She kept bringing it down and got to what was it, around the 20-minute mark, wasn't it?
Just under. Well, she was at 20:48 was her fastest time.
Yeah,
so under 21 minutes.
I know, and I mean, she keeps improving like that and gets it under 20. That's that's huge. And then looking at Haley's times from whenever she ran at North Georgia last year, there was a lot of times she was sub 20 as well. So if she gets back to that and then brings her time down to go with what you've got on that nucleus, that's looking tough, Coach. It's looking real tough.
We're really looking forward to competing hard this year. We really want to be we want to be a team that people from all over at least the Southeast look at and go, they're tough.
Exactly.
That's kind of who we want to be. So I think we're headed in the right direction for that.
Absolutely. I mean, it keeps with the same moniker of this athletic department. I mean, we keep adding champions individually or by team. We don't have to have 1,000 sports to do it either. We take the 7 sports that we have and we do them right. And I think that's in a small college environment with a small department. That's what you live and hope for, and that's exactly what we're doing. And you're definitely in the embody of that as a coach in this department, and it's just tremendous what we do. Yeah.
Really proud to be a road runner.
Absolutely. So, this season is going to be unlike any other. The NAI has moved the national championship to the spring, but the SSAC has elected to keep with a fall schedule and run their championship in the fall. So in your eyes, what is going to be the most challenging thing about that situation where you're going to have your conference championship, and then if we qualify for the national championship, we're not running the national championship till, sometime in 2021. So you're talking possibly a 4 to 6 month break.
Well, I guess as a coach, the way I look at it is it's kind of fun to have a new and different challenge. I enjoy the opportunity to try to do something a little unconventional and try to figure out how to do something unconventional. And so I think that's great. I still don't think we know what's going to happen this fall. I mean, right now the plan is to move forward with a normal fall season.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have heard a lot of rumblings about some races changing their formats and things and limiting field sizes in some cases and running the race in a completely different manner. That'll be different for all of our athletes. They're used to getting on a starting line with a whole bunch of other teams coming off that starting line together, and it may not look like that. And so we're going to be ready for that, though. We talk about that all the time as a group. As a coach, I try to get through to everybody that when things aren't normal, we need to feel like we have a competitive advantage because we're not going to let the outside of normal things. For example, if it's pouring down rain during a meet, I look at that as a positive because if there are some teams, any teams that are worried about that pouring rain, We're not going to be. We're going to be focused on, we still got a job to do. We can't do anything about the rain. And so we're going to ignore the rain, do the best we can do. And so that makes it a competitive advantage, because there's always athletes out there that are like, oh my gosh, it's raining. And so we're going to have some, I think, this year that are going to be thinking, oh, these meets, they're not normal, and they're just not going to bear down and give it everything they've got because of that. And so we're not going to be that team that does that. We're going to be the team that says, we're going to make the best of what we got.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really all that you can do. I mean, and there's, there's no telling if, like you said, some of the meet formats, I mean, I can see something changing. I think you and me have discussed it to where you may see a meet go to, if we're talking cycling, like a Tour de France time trial type format, to where, you have somebody line up, there they go. They give them a sizable gap. Somebody else walks up, then they go and they start timing, and then you just do it by individual times. I could definitely see something like that to, encourage, distancing. And even if you caught somebody on the course, you're, have plenty of room around them to pass in some occasions. So, I mean, it's definitely, could be a different situation. You're right.
Well, it gives us the opportunity to work in areas that we don't normally work. That's if we happen to run a race like that, then that gives us an opportunity to get on a course, not be encumbered by all the other runners around us, and go, okay, I'm just going to focus on my teammate who's just ahead of me and staying as close as I can. It helps that team atmosphere. So we're going to capitalize where we can too. So
right,
and to help make us better.
Absolutely, and that's all you can do is take what you're given and make the best situation out of it.
Absolutely.
Well, Dean, I wanted to thank you for joining us today, giving us a little insight and perspective from last year, and a little bit more into this year's team and who we have, and the excitement that's building around that team. I know I'm really excited for them, because they were a really good team last year, and we've got some pieces added to it this year that's going to make us even better. And that's exciting, and chasing another SSAC title, and down the road a national title as well. So wanted to thank you again for joining us. For everybody, again, we'll be here every Thursday night, 6 p.m. live on Facebook. Want to remind you all to follow us on social media. We'll have the handles in the end credits, and also too, we're adding the handles and tags for the cross country and track team for their social media, so you can follow them as well, learn a little bit more about them throughout the season. We'll have some more video work and some get to know stuff for them as well, so the community can get to know who they are. Once again, I'm Eric Simpson. We want to thank you for watching, and y'all have a great night.
Beep, beep.
Go Roadrunners.